The house was not there yesterday. I was certain of that, because yesterday the road ended in a rusted mailbox and a stretch of dead grass that refused to grow no matter the season. Yet tonight, as fog rolled low and thick like a held breath, a house stood where emptiness had been, tall and patient, its windows dark but watchful. It did not look abandoned. It looked expectant. I slowed my car, feeling a strange pressure behind my eyes, the kind that comes before a memory surfaces but never quite does. The porch light flickered once, twice, then steadied, casting a weak amber glow across peeling paint and a door that seemed older than the road itself. There was no sound of insects, no wind, no distant traffic. The silence felt intentional, as if the world had stepped back to give the house room to speak. I told myself I would not stop. I told myself houses do not simply appear, and roads do not change overnight. But my foot eased off the accelerator anyway, drawn by an unnamed certainty that something inside already knew me. As I stepped onto the porch, the wood did not creak. It sighed. The door was unlocked, warm to the touch, and for a brief, terrible moment, I felt the overwhelming sense that I was not entering a house at all, but returning to a place that had been waiting very patiently for me to remember it. The first true shift in the story occurs when the protagonist realizes that the house does not exist consistently, but selectively, revealing itself only on certain nights, as though reality itself hesitates before allowing it to be seen. At first, this discovery feels like a trick of exhaustion or poor memory. The road is familiar, driven countless times, and the absence of the house on previous nights is undeniable. There are no foundations sunk into the earth, no records, no mention on maps or in local conversations. Yet when darkness settles and the air grows heavy, the house stands fully formed, complete with age, detail, and an unsettling sense of permanence. This contradiction becomes impossible to ignore. The house is not fading in and out like a hallucination. It is deliberate, appearing with purpose and timing that feels personal rather than random. As the protagonist begins to test this phenomenon, returning night after night, the pattern becomes clearer and more disturbing. The house never appears during the day, not even at dawn or dusk, as though sunlight strips it of permission to exist. Only when the night is deep and quiet does it return, always in the same spot, unchanged, watching. This selective presence introduces the idea that the house is not bound by normal physical laws, but by awareness. It does not want to be seen by everyone. It wants to be seen by someone specific. That realization shifts the fear from the external to the internal, planting the suspicion that the house has chosen its observer rather than the other way around. This turning point deepens the horror by reframing reality as unreliable. If a structure can simply insert itself into the world without leaving evidence, then the boundaries of memory, perception, and time can no longer be trusted. The protagonist begins to question other absences in their life, moments that feel blurred, nights they cannot fully recall, decisions that no longer feel entirely their own. The house becomes a symbol of these gaps, a physical manifestation of forgotten or erased experiences that may not be gone at all, merely hidden until the right moment. Most unsettling is the emotional pull that accompanies the discovery. Instead of fear alone, there is a growing sense of familiarity, as if the house has always existed just out of sight, waiting for recognition. The road feels incomplete without it, the darkness strangely empty on nights when it does not appear. This attachment signals danger long before the protagonist understands why. The house's intermittent existence is not a flaw or weakness. It is a method, allowing curiosity and longing to grow stronger than caution, ensuring that, when the moment finally comes to cross the threshold, the choice will feel less like a mistake and more like destiny waiting quietly in the dark. The door closed without a sound, and with it went the road, the fog, and every version of the world I believed was waiting outside. The house did not lock me in, it simply removed the idea of leaving. Rooms shifted subtly when I wasn't looking, hallways stretching, just long enough to erase the memory of where I had started. I found the journal again on the dining table, though I was certain I had burned it, and this time the handwriting had changed. It was mine. Page after page described thoughts I was having moments before I realized I was having them, recording fear as it softened into acceptance. Days passed, or maybe nights stacked themselves endlessly on top of one another. Hunger faded. Panic dulled. The mirrors began to reflect a version of me that looked settled, older somehow, as if the house were gently editing me to better fit its walls. When I finally reached the front door again, it opened easily, revealing the road, the mailbox, the dead grass exactly as I remembered. Freedom stood a single step away. That was when I heard the knock behind me. A stranger stood in the hallway, soaked from fog, eyes wide with the same confusion I once carried. I understood then, not as a revelation, but as a memory returning to its proper place. The house does not keep what resists. It keeps what is replaced. As the stranger stepped inside and the door eased shut between us, the pressure behind my eyes vanished. The porch light flickered on. Somewhere deep in the walls, the house sighed, satisfied, and I sat down to wait for the next night it would choose to be seen.